I didn't bother watching The Mandalorian.
Oh,
But it's not the fault of The Mandalorian, it's the fault of the franchise. Because I was just so like,
Star Wars out.
yeah.
Fair enough.
And it took me a long time to see episodes 8 and 9.
Okay.
I watched those during the pandemic.
By themselves?
Well, one after the other kind of thing.
You watched season 1.
I watched episode 8 and 9 of the movies.
I thought you meant episode 8 and 9
Sorry.
of The Mandalorian.
My bad.
And I was confused.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, no.
Okay.
Mandalorian, I watched one episode.
Yes.
and I didn't
Last
keep on
Last
going.
Jedi and Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was laughing throughout most of this shit.
Yeah, fine.
And
fair.
I was like, you know what? I'm so done. I am so fed out. And then they kept on pumping more Star Wars stuff. And I was just, I'm good.
I enjoyed Mandalorian season 1, but the burnout of the TV stuff was very much similar to the Marvel TV burnout.
Yeah, absolutely. 100.
Same thing.
100.
Overdid it too much. I'm like, Boba Fett, I loved Boba Fett before in the old Star Wars days, and now there's too much of that, and I kind of am not interested in checking it out. I've never been a big fan of Ahsoka. In fact, but I know that her cool stuff comes in the Clone Wars stuff later.
Which is very much later, right?
Which is very much later. But the initial Clone Wars stuff early on, when she was just kind of the annoying little, stuck on Enzo,
Yeah.
I was like, eh. Yeah. So that's fine. But everyone's talking about Andor.
So the last thing I really enjoyed was Rogue One. And
Rogue One
people
was good.
told me Andor is similar, where it's like more politics and no nonsense, no bullshit.
And some people hate that. Some people are like, that's not what I don't want Star Wars to be Star Trek. And I'm like, no. Fuck that. Because canon Star Wars has fucked up enough times that other people can take a crack at telling interesting stories in this world.
Yeah.
If it's a political story, I'm down. Right? I love Legend of the Galactic Heroes. I love that dry ass Gundam politics talk. I'm super down for it. So yeah, that sounds interesting. So people say, I've heard it described as like looking at the ramifications of the Empire on everyday lives, as opposed to just like space wizards having fucking binary battles of good and evil.
Just go to therapy, motherfucker. It's that simple. Gosh.
KOTOR 2, man. KOTOR 2. I can't glaze Kreia enough on that. As wrong as she is about so much stuff, the core philosophy is so based, if you wanna, just level of just who the fuck are these space wizards?
Yeah.
And why should the average person give a shit? We're trying to not die on one of these planets in the fucking afterbirth of your big battles. While we're all collateral. Fuck you. Fuck your entire existence. We hate you. It's so, like, reasonable to hate that, I still think I still think Force Awakens, the potential was there. If they didn't cower it out. It was there. My brain is, like, retroactively enjoying, like, it more, because I'm like, they could have done something with it and just cowered it out at every opportunity.
Yeah.
Like
I do believe that something that comes after can ruin something that comes before.
Yeah.
And the feeling that you get after seeing 7 is like, okay, yeah, that was a great movie. Like, let's see where it goes. And then you let some time pass and you're like, okay, it wasn't that great, but there's still potential. Let's see where it goes.
I don't want to like rewrite history though. I don't want revisionism on it. I remember when 7 came out, and like, I remember people were like afraid to like it. It was like, yeah. I didn't feel like there was a lot of positive enthusiasm to it until the other ones came out and were worse.
Then people were like,
and then people started pointing out, oh, actually that was better than we thought, and then they dropped the ball.
Okay.
But it didn't feel like a dropped ball when there was no 8 and 9 as much as it does now, because it felt like people were like afraid to really say they liked it.
Okay.
I think that's kind of how it felt to me.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was like, no, there's ideas there that are cool.
Yeah, I got out of it and I was really hype, and I wanted to see what was going to happen with Finn.
Everyone did. The potential was there.
So like I didn't hate it. I was like, yo, this is fun. Okay. I was really hyped when I got out of the movie theater. But then after time passes, I'm like, yeah, it was an okay movie. Let's see where it goes.
Finn is not the problem with the sequel trilogy. You know? That's not where the blame goes. For me, it died the moment that they had an opportunity to like challenge. I like the idea of challenging the philosophy of Jedi and Sith and all that. And not to say that the truth is enlightened centrism. You know, the gray is the reality. Not that, but that moment of the back-to-back, two of them going, hold on a second, are we on the same side and can we figure something out here? And I thought the movie was going to swerve into a weird, what the fuck do we believe and why? And are there things is there a discuss? Can we talk no jutsu? Can we just talk? Is there a weird thing here where Empire, like, you know? And like, okay, he turned this way because Luke showed up with a fucking lightsaber in his tent. Like, I'm gonna kill this kid. He's like, yo, what the like? It's extremely reasonable for him to go, you fuck you people.
Yeah.
Right. And like, you know, little things like, you know, what him being a like sad fanboy of a villain more than being an actual badass. He's this dweeby little like, yeah, you know, and when he's like, more, and you're just like, yeah, you're out of control. You have none of what Darth Vader had. You're cosplaying though. And I'm like, that's great. I love that. I love the fact that you put on an image, but you're really this really sad emo kid underneath and stuff. You can work all of that to be interesting. And they had that moment and then they went, nah, we got toys to sell. And they just fucking gave up on it, you know?
And was it like different like directors for each movie?
There were different directors for each movie.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt a bunch. Oh man, I
Ryan
remember,
Johnson.
Was it in 8 where there's like a whole bunch of bad action happening and then Finn kisses the Asian girl? And I'm like, there was no lead up to this. What the fuck is happening?
Brienne of Tarth gets wasted.
Oh my god!
Brienne of Tarth gets wasted for nothing. Captain Phasma.
I'm late on the Game of Thrones stuff, so when I saw like Brienne of Tarth simping for Jaime Lannister, I was like, come on, girl. Come on. Whatever, man.
Okay.
It's just...
Okay, Brienne,
I'm late to the party.
Sure,
let's not go there.
Party. Fine. But she's in Star Wars and they don't do anything with that. And I know that it makes people mad because it breaks the rules, but the Lightspeed kamikaze is a rad idea.
That's a beautiful picture.
It's cool to look at. I think as a concept, it's fucking crazy sick. But I can understand the idea of like, yeah, why doesn't every little ship just do that all the time? This would be, why doesn't it, you know what I mean?
It would be easier, huh?
It would be insane if that were, you know, if that were the case and get it, whatever, right? Why can't, but we already had to accept, like, the way I think about that is almost like, oh boy, we're going into it now, I suppose, right? Because I'm like,
we got time.
Yeah, I know, but we're exposing ourselves as people who have like, we watched all the mainline stuff and we haven't gotten into
I didn't read the books.
We haven't read the books and we're not deep into the MMO, so we're not going to be able to give you the full details of, you know, the hows and whys and who explores the best ideas. But it's kind of like when you go, why can't any random person pick up a beam saber sword and just swing that around? And it's like, no, because it takes a lot of coordination and you'll cut your limb off and stuff. And it's like, I guess, but you have to create contrivances why it's a special Jedi weapon, right? Admittedly, this is dangerous to do, right? But if you didn't do that and you just held it and were like, I don't know, I'm just going to just be a weird scrub that stabs things with a sword that can go through anything. Yeah. That's still insanely dangerous and powerful, you know? But we had to create lore around the idea of like why that wouldn't work. And then now what takes Jedi skill is, yes, deflecting a bullet makes That's more crazy, sense. Man. A random person can't do that, you know? But in terms of just being a scrub with a sword that can cut through anything, well, that's better than a sword that can't cut through anything, right? But then you had but imagine your anime or whatever fictional setting where you've got characters who are just regular like army people or regular samurai or whatever, that they've got their swords that they swing like human beings, and then the sickest badass main characters slice through the arrows.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, yeah, so we can both use a samurai sword, but the protagonist energy is good enough to do the cool thing with the same weapon. You know? So it's like, yeah, a Jedi can deflect all that or whatever, but it's not like if you gave a random person this beam saber and just went, here, swing this around, and they'd be like, I don't know I can't. It's like, it doesn't work that way, right? So the idea of like, why can't every single ship just do a lightspeed kamikaze? Furthermore, why do you even have to have a person in there? Why not have a droid?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
And now we're in shit. Now the whole setting is a problem. Why wasn't every space battle just a bunch of TIE fighters and X-Wings with droids doing lightspeed kamikazes into each other?
Not unmanned, with droids. You know? Just...
And the answer is midichlorians, man. So fine, you know? But yes, I enjoyed Grumpy Luke. Right. I thought that was cool. I enjoyed a lot of that. And just subverting the trope, etc. But the whole bit at that back-to-back moment was for me where they went, nah, fuck this.
Yeah.
You know, and then yes, let's also go and have a weird off adventure with the B team that has nothing to do with anything, you know. Yeah, cowardice. Sucks. At least the one, so I want to go see Andor and see what's good about it and why people are enjoying it.
Okay.
But I'll say like the most uplifting Star Wars related news to me is that D&D, the directors of Game of Thrones, did not get their Star Wars trilogy. It got taken away from them.
Huh.
Because as you will find out when you eventually finish watching Game of Thrones.
No, I'm done.
Okay. That earned them getting taken off the project.
Yeah.
And they rushed that finale
so that they would go on
to get to Star Wars.
Yeah, well, where are you now?
Exactly, right? It shows how that level of disrespect and we don't give a fuck. I don't want to play with you anymore. It's Toy Story. Well, now here's what you get. You don't get the thing that you're fucking rushing for anyways. So that's nice to know that they don't get it. Insanity with that. Starbucks cups on top of R2-D2.
Oh know? Boy, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's I think that's a reasonable Star Wars take.
Yep.